Good afternoon, and welcome to Eastern Kentucky University's Spring 2018 graduation for the College of Health Sciences. We here at EKU care about everyone's safety. In order to keep today's celebration just that, please take a moment to locate the exits. In the event of an emergency, calmly move to the nearest exit and away from the building to allow emergency personnel access. We thank you for your consideration to keeping all attending today's graduation safe. Today, we honor degree candidates in the College of Health Sciences under the leadership of Interim Dean Dr. Sheila Presley. In this ceremony, we celebrate the degree candidates from the Department of Associate Degrees Nursing, Baccalaureate and Graduate Nursing, Environmental Health Sciences, Exercise and Sports Science, Family and Consumer Sciences, Health Services Administration, Medical Laboratory Sciences, Public Health, Occupational Science and Occupational Therapy, and Recreation and Park Administration. In this ceremony, we are formally recognizing 533 bachelor's degrees, 219 master's degrees, 15 doctoral degrees, 36 associate degrees, for a grand total of 803 degrees from the 8 departments of our college. At this time, we ask that you please rise for the presentation of our colors and the singing of our national anthem. Remain standing until the Guard has exited the gymnasium. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dean of the College of Health Sciences of Eastern Kentucky University, Dr. Sheila Davidson Presley.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Parents, families, and friends, President Benson, distinguished guests, faculty, and staff. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate with our graduates this milestone event in their lives. At this time, I would like to recognize some special individuals here on the platform who have joined us this afternoon. Dr. Michael T. Benson, President of Eastern Kentucky University. Dr. Deborah Whitehouse, Interim Senior Vice President for Academics and Provost of Eastern Kentucky University. Craig Turner, Chair of the Board of Regents. Brian Mackinnon, Staff Regent. Laura Jackson, Student Regent. Richard Day, Faculty Regent. Vasu Vasudevan, Regent. Mr. Bob Sullivan, Vice President of the International Alumni Association. Dr. Jerry Pagachnik, Dean of the Graduate School. David McFadden, President's Counsel. Juan Castro, Regent. Dr. Matthew Winslow, Mace Bearer. Dr. Judy Short, Retirement Transition Program Associate Dean. Dr. Mary Clements, Part-Time Associate Dean. Dr. Colleen Schneck, Part-Time Associate Dean. Dr. Michael Ballard, Part-Time Associate Dean. Please join me in expressing to them our appreciation for their dedicated service. One more time. I would like to welcome President Benson, who will bring opening remarks. President Benson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Presley. On behalf of Eastern Kentucky University, I welcome you to the Campus Beautiful as we celebrate the accomplishments of today's graduates. Next January will mark my 25th year in working in public higher education, and I cannot recall how many graduation ceremonies I've attended. Regardless, I never tire of this vantage point and the inspiring sight of graduates arrayed before us. You are indeed the hope of the world, and we celebrate you and this singular accomplishment. In America today, higher education is under a tremendous amount of scrutiny. What is it that we offer to society? Are we worth it? What is the return on investment? Is the cost of a college degree defensible? While America has many deficits, including trade and otherwise, I would argue that our higher education system is not one of them. On the contrary, we remain the envy of the world as students from around the globe clamor to attend any number of our institutions of higher education. The Times Higher Education World University Rankings is a good example. According to this list, 17 of the world's top 25 universities, over 2/3, are in the United States. The former president of the University of California, Clark Kerr, observed this years ago. He said, "The United States has, overall, the most effective system of higher education the world has ever known." Never has there been a more compelling need to make a case for public support of higher education than there is right now. Notwithstanding, it seems that this is not new. Consider the words of our very own first president in his first message to Congress, and I quote, "There is nothing which can better deserve your patronage than the promotion of science and literature, the acquisition of knowledge." This is what George Washington said as he advocated for the first public university. He said, "The surest basis of public happiness was essential to the security of a free constitution." That, my friends, was in the year 1790. So fast forward to the class of 2018, and we extend to you our heartiest congratulations. I sincerely hope the events of today will remain with you forever as both a wonderful memory of your time at Eastern, but also as a constant reminder of the need to keep learning. Just because you leave the university today with a diploma does not mean your quest to acquire knowledge, to better yourself, and to expand your abilities has been certified and completed. On the contrary, as the name of today's proceedings suggests, commencement, this is the real learning just begins. Now is the chance to see where that Eastern degree can take you. And it's the chance for you to show the world just how valuable higher education is to you and to our society. George Washington Carver called education the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Consider what this means to you in your own individual circumstances. Your completed degree, to be sure, from Eastern, signifies that, yes, you're free from any more coursework, or study groups, or Blackboard, or exams, or research papers. But much more importantly, it also signifies this: the freedom to choose your own path, freedom from ignorance and misconceptions and fake news, freedom to come to your own decisions and draw your own conclusions, freedom to pursue whatever you want to do, and the freedom to do good and to leave a positive mark in whatever field of endeavor you follow. What an amazing and glorious feeling this is. So as you leave Eastern today, I hope you have never, ever felt more free in your entire life. The world truly is at your feet, and you are limited only by your own expectations and your desire to work hard and invest in yourselves. We wish you the very best. And finally, please remember these words of the inimitable Dalai Lama, who said, "Be kind whenever possible, and it is always possible." Congratulations, and go Colonels.
Thank you, President Benson. I would now like to introduce our Provost, Dr. Deborah Whitehouse, who will bring us greetings from Academic Affairs. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Deborah Whitehouse.
It is a joy to be with you today and to share in your celebration. You have completed demanding curriculum from nationally accredited programs in health and have met all performance standards. Because of your practice-based education at Eastern Kentucky University, you will make a difference every day in the health and lives of individuals, families, and communities. You have earned the right, responsibility, and the joy of practice in your profession. In the next phase of your career, I know that you will each give back tenfold through your dedicated and caring work. You are an amazing, highly educated workforce, and you will keep extending the boundaries of practice and health as you engage in your chosen career. Thank you for choosing a health discipline. Thank you for choosing Eastern Kentucky University. We're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Provost Whitehouse. Whether you are launching your career or advancing your practice, each of you has chosen a health profession in a demanding knowledge discipline. You will be continually required to think critically and to interact with caring as you work with individuals, families, and communities to improve health. You will unlearn and relearn the evidence base for best practices as it evolves. You will contribute to the evidence-shaping practice that is culturally sensitive. Graduates, just imagine the force for health that is unleashed today as 803 of you leave our campus to work together interprofessionally to improve health. You are a tidal wave and you will move mountains. You have the ability to change lives and improve health, and you will have excellent employment opportunities. Families and friends, you are very fortunate to have a health professional in your close circle of life. Their new expertise will enrich your lives and improve your health. This afternoon's graduates include many who have achieved academic distinction. I want to recognize these groups. If you would, please hold your applause until all groups have been recognized. Would all those who are graduating this afternoon from our honors program as honors scholars please stand and remain standing. Would all those graduates who are members of one of health sciences disciplinary national and international honor societies and EKU's interdisciplinary honor society also please stand and remain standing as I call your society. Sigma Theta Tau International, Nursing's Honor Society. Pi Theta Upsilon, Occupational Therapies Honor Society. Epsilon Nu Eta, Environmental Health Sciences Honor Society. Eta Gamma Sigma, Health Promotion and Administration's Honor Society. Phi Upsilon Omicron, Family and Consumer Sciences Honor Society. Rho Phi Lambda, Recreation and Park Administration's Honor Society. Phi Kappa Phi, EKU's highest multidisciplinary honor society. Finally, if you are not yet standing, would all those who are graduating summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or cum laude please stand and remain standing. Let us honor these groups of outstanding student scholars. Please be seated. Throughout her history, Eastern Kentucky University has been a school of opportunity, and we will always be proud of that distinction. I am particularly pleased to acknowledge this afternoon the many first-generation college graduates who are earning a degree. This means that neither of their parents nor anyone in their earlier generations was a college graduate. Will all the candidates for degrees who are the first generation in their families to earn a college degree please stand? Please be seated. Commencement is also the time we recognize the many others who have contributed to the success of these candidates with resources, encouragement, occasional cajoling, love, and understanding. Now I ask the following to stand as you are presented and remain standing so that we may welcome and honor you as a group. Will the parents of the graduates for graduation please stand? Will the spouses of the graduates please stand? Will grandparents of the candidates please stand? Will children and other family members of the candidates please stand? And will the faculty and staff who have instructed and served these candidates please stand? Thank you for showing your appreciation for these very important people in your lives with that generous round of applause. Everyone may be seated. The college is pleased to present our student speaker for our ceremony. Dr. Michael Ballard, Chair of Health Promotion and Administration, will introduce her at this time.
It is my great pleasure to introduce to you the Health Sciences student speaker, Ms. Yvonne Gonzalez. Originally from Mexico, but growing up in Shelbyville, Yvonne is graduating with a double degree in both public health and Spanish. Celebrating with Yvonne today are several family members. Jose Gonzalez, her father, Laura Gonzalez, her mother, Luis Gonzalez, her brother, and her best friend, Lily Bennett, and other hosts of family and friends. I know they are as proud of her and her accomplishments as we are. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce the student speaker for this afternoon's commencement program, Ms. Yvonne Gonzalez.
Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. As I was thinking on which direction I wanted my speech to go, I decided to take a little stroll down memory lane. And my earliest educational memories date back to kindergarten. The first thing that came to mind about that era in my life were all the Dr. Seuss books I used to read religiously. In all honesty, he is who I have to thank for my success in learning English. I personally don't have a favorite Dr. Seuss book, but I felt like Oh, the Places You'll Go fits perfectly with what we are celebrating today, and it describes my journey in life. In the beginning of the book, Dr. Seuss talks about how in life we're going to be faced with difficult choices and how we're going to have to make the decision to leave the path we are on and try something completely new in order to continue to grow. Many of us have made or will make a decision similar to that one that Dr. Seuss describes. Fortunately, my parents made that first decision for me. They decided to veer off their paths in order to provide better opportunities for my brother and me. They saw that Mexico had very little to offer for us and for our futures and wanted us to have a better life. So they decided to leave and migrate to the United States in September of 1999. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. I learned to acclimate to this country at a very fast pace. I learned English and was embedded to the culture in just a short matter of time. I felt like a true American. I remember looking around at my classmates and thinking, I was just like them. I didn't see myself any different, except for when I got pulled out of class to translate. But really, that just made me look cooler. Elementary through middle school years were very simple for me, and I knew that I was privileged for that. I felt like I was living the dream day in and day out with no worries. I was extremely involved growing up, shocker there. I did every after-school activity you could think of, was involved with my local church and throughout my community. I felt like I had taken the lead so early on in my life, and I was thriving every minute of it. But little did I know that one day it wouldn't be that easy. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. My perfect world started to seem so imperfect once I entered high school. I attended an all-girls high school, and even though I wanted to think I was just like all my other classmates, I knew that something was different about me. All my friends were turning 16, and they were coming into class, showing off their driver permits, or talking about their first part-time jobs. And I knew that I would never get to experience that at the age of 16 because at that time, I was lacking a 9-digit number. College didn't even seem realistic, which was very defeating because I knew that I wanted to pursue a college education. I could have let these obstacles control me and given up, but a wise man once taught me, you are the architect of your own life, and only you are responsible for your success or failures. So instead, I looked at this time in my life as a challenge that I was going to overcome. And little did I know that I would learn so much along the way. Don't get me wrong, some days were easier than others, and at times, I just wanted to give up. But my parents and my younger brother were my driving force. I would remind myself daily on how my parents left everything and everyone they knew behind, and how at the end of it, I wanted them to look back and say that it was all worth it. I definitely did not overcome these obstacles alone. There have been many hands at the table throughout my journey, and a big chunk of those individuals come from my time here at Eastern. Even before being an official student at Eastern, I was welcomed by a variety of professionals with such open arms. And I knew that this would become my home away from home. Even after changing my major 5 times, each department left their mark on my life in such a positive way, especially the College of Health Sciences. The professors in this college have been more than inspirational, and I thank them for that. I have learned how to flourish as a student in and out of the classroom. My professors have taught me numerous lessons that are applicable to my life and even after graduation, and many of you could probably agree to that. Eastern has given me the opportunity to be an artist because, truth be told, I can't even draw a stick person. I have painted my own canvas with so many beautiful memories, from joining Greek life, participating in student government, studying abroad in Costa Rica, being awarded the Martin Luther King Jr. Student Leadership Award, and even being crowned the 2017 Homecoming Queen. And each of you have painted your own canvas as well, each one different than your neighbors, but still beautiful to look at. We can all probably agree that our college journey has been a difficult one. And at times, we probably Google searched dropping out and jobs that didn't require degrees. But we all have something in common. We didn't give up, we made the decision to keep moving forward, and in just a few moments, we will walk across this stage and complete a milestone in our life. The journey after today won't be easy, and some of us may have a better idea about our future plans than others. But as I begin to close up my speech, I want you all to take away two things from me today. You are the architect of your own life. You have the ability to draw up that custom-made blueprint for your future endeavors. So put it in writing and create that plan. And only you are responsible for your success or failures. But don't let that second word scare you. Failing is a valuable opportunity to learn, and you will be surprised at what you learn and how you grow when you do fail. As soon as you begin to accept those two concepts and integrate them into your daily lives, Dr. Seuss says it best. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. So class of 2018, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne, for your inspiring words. President Michael Benson and Interim Provost Deborah Whitehouse will now proceed with the formal conferring of degrees on our graduates. The department chairs will present their candidates from their discipline. Candidates, as your department name is called, please stand and remain standing until the final group is called. Dr. Beth Gamble, Chair of Associate Degree Nursing, will present the candidates from her department.
Will the candidates for degrees in Associate Degree Nursing please stand?
Dr. Mary Clements, Chair of Baccalaureate and Graduate Nursing, will present the candidates from her department.
Will the candidates in Baccalaureate and Graduate Nursing please stand?
Ms. Bona Grable, Chair of Environmental Health Science and Medical Laboratory Science, will present the candidates from her department.
Will the candidates for degrees in Environmental Health and Medical Laboratory Sciences please stand?
Dr. Eric Fuchs, Chair of Exercise and Sports Science, will present the candidates from his department.
Will the candidates for the degrees in Exercise and Sports Science please stand?
Dr. Dana Bush, Chair of Family and Consumer Sciences, will present the candidates from her department.
Will the candidates for degrees in all programs in Family and Consumer Sciences please stand?
Dr. Michael Ballard, Chair of Health Promotion and Administration, will present the candidates from his department.
Will the candidates for degrees in Health Services Administration and Public Health please stand?
Dr. Colleen Schneck, Chair of Occupational Science and Occupational Therapy, will present the candidates from her department.
Will the candidates for degrees in Occupational Science and Occupational Therapy please stand?
Dr. John McChesney, Chair of Recreation and Park Administration, will present the candidates from his department.
Will the candidates for degrees in all areas of Recreation and Park Administration please stand?
Will the candidates for degrees in General Studies and Health Sciences please stand? Dr. Whitehouse, President Benson.
President Benson, Dean Jerry Pagashnik will recognize candidates for graduate degrees.
The College of Health Sciences offers the following graduate degrees: Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Public Health, Doctor of Nursing Practice, and Doctor of Occupational Therapy Doctorate. Congratulations to all our graduate students.
President Benson, with the recommendation of the faculty, the deans and I present these candidates to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Candidates, the long anticipated hour has come. You are here with family and loved ones looking on. The faculty and officers of the university are gathered in witness and testimony to your conduct and purpose. Therefore, by virtue of the authority granted me by the Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University and with the faculty's recommendation, it is now my pleasure to confer upon each of you the appropriate degree, and do hereby vest each of you with the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Once verified by final grades, your diploma will be confirmed and acknowledged by the Great Seal of Eastern Kentucky University. Congratulations, candidates. Please be seated.
Dr. Michael Lane will now read the names of the graduates. Out of respect for the graduates and their families, especially those whose names are to be called next, I ask that you remain seated and hold your applause until all of the graduates have been recognized. Thank you.
No, do I do that? Okay, all right. Dean Presley, department chairs, and faculty will now proceed with the presentation of candidates for degrees within the College of Health Sciences. Graduates will receive diploma covers, and graduate students will be hooded with the colors of their discipline and Eastern Kentucky University. I apologize if I get it wrong. Willetta Williams. Jacqueline Winkler. Haley Long. Olivia Reinert. Lindsay Burton. Lindsay Carpenter. Lauren Reynolds. Courtney Thomas. Paulina Busher. Anansa Thompson. Cecily Girton. Emily Hubbard. Allison Pegg. Jessica Broyles. Holly Robinson. Christina Jarvis. Kimberly Halsey. Margaret Zollers. We got you. Tanya Page. Sure? You want to read again? You good? Okay, cool. Okay, all right. Heather Norris. Regina Masters. Diana Madden. Angela Peters. Thank you. shouldn't have had so much coffee before I got up there. It's going too fast. I don't think you want to hood at high speeds. I don't think that's safe. Sarah Briggs. May Mustafa. Kimberly DeJohn. Laura Hager. Melanie Barber. Joshua Worth. Laura Travis. Nathana Hall. Virginia Markham. Amanda Zackham. Stephanie Warren. Alianne Tilley. Jason McKenzie. Elizabeth Taney. Corey May. Amanda Sebastian. I'm sorry. Ayers. Mary Ayers. Carrie Moore. Andrea Adams. April Baker. Bobby Lloyd. Megan Tudor. Susan Harvey. Good. Kelly Pate. Crystal Rogers. Dustin Ford. Wilson Fugate. Kelsey G. Eric Foster. Myra Kelly. Amelia Brown. Rebecca Brandenburg. Macy Clevidence. Kristen Peterson. Kelly Conley. David Duggar. Phelan Bailey. Janae Collins. Tara Griffiths. Sure. Sub one in. Heather Cloud. Zachary Cornett. Kelly Mills. Daryl Cotton. Carlton Nichols, son. Joe Elbert. Tracy Cornett. Blessing Anna Baroni. Carrington Mordy. Tom Magondo. Scholastica Chidume. Jennings. Caitlin Jennings. Nathan Bartley. Amanda Jarvis. Pagan. Just like it sounds. Clay Pagan. Stephanie Smith. Tammy Melton. Amber Messamore. Julie McCowan. Crystal Lang. Mary Barton. Emily Davis. Brooke Carlisle. What's up? Angela Wagner. Sarah Bradley. Carrie Hobbs. Elizabeth Maybrier. Shelley Finley. Bethany Fry. Amber Cheek. Sarah Lagaman. Tatum Brumfield. Jenna Eby. Mary Flynn. Aaron Witkowski. Brooke Maines. Sydney Smith. Shaylin Winkler. Rebecca Collins. Samantha Williamson. Brianna Robinson. Amanda Barone. Heather Witt. Natalie Pendleton. Sarah Fawcett. Stacy Reisner. Stephanie Melcher. Clara Maciel. Russell Brand. Jesselyn Bingham. Megan Long. Michaela Bertram. Kathy Cheek. Carol Sloan. Sherry Shaffey. Amanda Sykes. Stacy Brewer. Lucretia Asbury. Jennifer Bruner. Stacy Collins. Emily Lowe. Natasha Cameron. Jamie Webb. Christina Harad. Mallory Bridgman. Morgan Jones. Lakin Oliver. Jessica Durham. Thank you. Emily Ench. Brianna Goebel. Samantha Crabtree. Catherine Allen. Jordan Perkins. Elizabeth Lewis. Hattie White. Shelby Bishop. Caitlin Bell. Bailey Leitner. Michaela Epperson. Desiree Hall. Cassandra Lee. Ashley McWhorter. Tim Trumbull. Lori Wright. Oops. Erica Carlson. Logan Griffith. Lindsay Miles. Lindsay Dawson. Taylor Lawson. Ella Goodpaster. Cheyenne McCarthy. Caitlin Alvey. Mariko Garrison. Erica Gonzalez. Madison Evans. Sharon Mutajara-Witt. Rachel Evans. Leanna Foley. Catherine Coleman. Marvin Wilcuts. Christopher Lewis. Mandy McBride. Amy Hatton. Andrea Eldridge. Arlene Chapman. Candace Board. Alexis Parks. Jane Curtis. Angela Hubbard. Cynthia Issam. Esther Epps. Vishal Natu. Broken watch is right twice a day. And now you guys are getting to put it. That's great. That's great. I'm just trying. Just trying.
Sorry, Mona. I was busy talking.
Thank you so much for everything. Elliot Baldridge. Felicia Paluzzi. Holly Argo.
Are you tired yet?
Living the dream. Emily Baldridge. Sarah Wilhoit. Albendri Aldiab. Joseph Holland. James Hawk. Ashley Sturgill. Cameron Blackburn. Keenan Kelly. Carson Whitehead Jr. Ty Hensley. Nicholas Fritsch. Adu Day Jonathan. Bryce Botts. Ryan Wiggins. Derek Hamilton. Adam Hunter. Courtney Francis. Claire Livers. Christine Herrera. Jessica Maggie. Michaela Lane.
Mine's a little different. I was supposed to walk with the justice and safety.
You good?
It'll say that on.
Richard Lusk. I know this man. Steve Castle. Kyle Close. Jordan Smiley. Sarah Franklin.
You know what to say.
Zachary Owsley. Josie Cruz. Lee Dornty. April Spears. Dylan Avare. Quentin Henderson.
She was in Michaela Lane. I was like, what?
Patrick Vinson. Fiona Ford. Kayla Hansen. Kimberly Pierce. Jamisha Banks. Kalia Barnett.
You want the middle name?
Yeah.
Mary Catherine Young. Owen Peterson. Jennifer Tinsley. Gabriel Chapman. Aaron Judd. Amelia Cottrell. Alicia Schwenker. Jasmine Hallbrook. Caitlin Stevens. Jazarus Rayford. James Faulkner. Joshua Llewellyn. Bryson McKee. Ryan Gecky. JP Isaacs. Cole Warrenfeltz. Megan Ross. Sierra Harlan. Sierra Coons. Megan Duggins. Madison Stallings. Olivia Myers. Kelsey Whalen. Brianna Otis. Brianna Sullivan. Sarah Gilly. Markeisha Grosvenor. Kathleen Murphy. William Paget. Ronaldi Gustav. Jared Tucker. Devontae Solomon. Joshua Bennett. Zachary Charles. Jonathan Thornton. Donald Keebler. Dakota Lakes. Cameron Angus. Christopher Wells. Luke Campbell.
Congrats, man.
Will Saley. Amy Singleton. Carrie Steele. Joseph Clark. Amanda Williams. Tara Duty. Tasha Smith. Brandy Lindsay. Brittany Simpson. Venus Ross. Haley Martin. Abigail Lockett. Shannon Watson Jones. Sadie Theodore Powell. Julie McComb. Courtney Napier. Andrea Webb. Leanna Sharp. Alicia Ann Fletcher. Brittany Pennington. Savannah Page. Christopher Holliday. Angela Bird. Carissa Smith. Bridget Wilson. Allison Parton. Shelby Ferguson. Mackenzie Messer. Alexandria Campbell. Mary Plowman. Bianca Lambert. Meg Carter. Alicia Hale. Tori Ziegler. Kelly Lee. Samantha Bertke. Hannah Norris. Catherine Blackard. Salina Sanks. Kelsey Edwards. Brianna Niven. Allison Mallory. Anle. Dominique Baker. Elizabeth Swift. James Caldwell. Linda Darnell. Rebecca Smith.
Costanzo.
Jennifer Costanzo. Anna Wallach. Emily Goodwin. Joseph Caldwell.
This is my last time, I promise.
You can't just, it's not a line ride. You just hop in. You should have. You'd be doing a better job than I.
Julia Lloyd. Samuel Allen. Tennille Allen. Jessica Pope. Tammy Roberts. Curtis Flynn. Megan Starr. Shelby Beaven. Shalomau Achi. Kendra Helm. Leah Asher. Whitney Bookout. Kirsten Rawlings.
Thank you.
Yvonne Gonzalez. Alexandra Finch. Tyler Fields. Samantha Beenge.
That's right.
Morgan Gardner.
It's Donahue.
Rebecca Donahue. Kelsey Sutherland. Taylor Rankin. Marissa Kaywood. Madison Cook. Michaela Carr. Autumn Brown. Gabriela Manzano Vega.
I said it right.
Autumn Hamilton. Devin Schneck. Wandiko Hamisi. May Alguman. Sabrina Colvin. Kaylin Hopkins. Kelly Cole. Elizabeth Snook. Jillian Pittman. Emily Rourke. Erica Standifer. Taryn Fisher. Gretchen Myman. Kara Elizabeth Tolley. Emma Mae Davis. Courtney Lark. Morgan West.
It's going too fast for him.
Taylor Franklin.
Is that Miss True?
Megan True. Caitlin Caccino. Danielle Danley. Brittany Taylor. Joe Eldridge. Michael Bluevirus. Kevin Ray. Candace Alvey.
You guys are on top of each other.
Sarah Durbin. Austin Bryan. Laura Sloan. Kristen Holman. Marissa Sparbani. Lisa Siders. Nicole Latham. Lakin Jolly. Hannah Floyd. Tanya Renzenbrink. Tracy Mitchell. Lauren Jude. Sierra Kane. Nikia Banther. Melissa Arwood. Morgan Bill. Jonathan Powell. Ashley Schneider. Kristen Wade. Megan Tolliver. Jordan Ledford. Kayla Walker. Brandy Winchester. Marjorie Hammonds. Kendall Mayford. Kiera Taseko. Megan Tackett. Samantha Prager. Veronica Reynolds. Ashley Gibson. Kaylee Logue. Michaela Harper. Kelly Harlan. Olivia Simpson. Claire Laycock. Rachel Wegener. Rachel Barth. Sarah Clemens. Allison Crawford. Abigail Taylor. Jana Livers. Abigail Perkins. Katie Bowles. Aaron Pyle. Haley Casper. Whitney Housley. Alyssa Seraphin. Ashley Adams. Christina Hicks. Madison Wright. Allison DeRossette. Hannah Vance. Haley Kemper. Mallory Maxwell. McKenna Sullivan. Sean Castle. Matthew Sabin. Mitchell Taylor. Ashley Tweehughes. Mary Rowe. Melissa Hoover. Jalen Ludwig. Gary McCoy. Kaylin Stallsworth. Mary Gray. Erica Elaine Morgan. Brittany Viars. Whitney Rice. Laura Knob. Leanna Payne. Sydney Cornett. Devin Jenkins. Nicholas Vagides. Micah Hess. Corey Waits. Colleen Rakes. Gregory Stacy. James Barnett. Kara Ellis. Skylar Worley. Kaylee Barrett Turner. Sandra Adams. Samantha Evans. Juliana Reynolds. Loretta Peterson. Creighton Caskey. Taylor Held. Ashley Sizemore.
Thanks, Dr. Lane.
Rachel Harden. Christopher Poner. Callie McMullen. Aaron Lipe. Jacob Wickman. Alicia Hilbert. Hannah Zeno. Sarah Connor. Melissa Scheidler. Susanna Stewart. Madison Price. Monique Cook. Bendra Blair. Linda Griffin. Kaylee Truesdell. Savannah Huff. Samantha Vyers. Shane Osborne. Trey Markham. Sarah Cox. Cassidy Carey. Emily Negrin. Marcy J. Berry. Aqueen Hayes. Samari Ward. Derek C. Miller. Sean Demetrius Wright. Kennedy Rochelle Williams. Thank you, guys.
Just going to try and make sure we're on the right page here before we get started. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the graduates find their ways to their seats, how about a big round of applause for Professor Michael Lane and all those names? Well done, sir. Graduates, the moment for which you have worked so long and so hard is now at hand. If you have not already done so, please move your tassels from the right to the left. All right. And now, First Lieutenant Eric Shakes will issue the military oath of office to Rachel Hardin. At this time, would the parents of our commissionee please stand and remain standing for the oath of office?
Go ahead and raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Rachel Elizabeth Hardin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of
the office on which I'm about to enter.
I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Ladies and gentlemen, could I have all of our veterans, if you're a veteran of any of our armed services, if you could please stand to be recognized today. All of our veterans. Thank you very much. On behalf of a grateful university, we thank you for your service. Dr. Presley.
Alumni are so very important in the life of a university, and we are blessed at Eastern to have the loyal support of more than 140,000 alumni. Here to present from the International Alumni Association is Mr. Bob Sullivan. He will now offer greetings to our newest alumni. Mr. Sullivan?
Thank you. Graduates, today you're joining a very special group of individuals, men and women from all over the world who are alumni of this great institution. They have brought honor to our Eastern Kentucky University by distinguishing themselves in their careers, in their communities, by doing great work and serving others. In your time here at EKU, I hope that, in addition to your academics, you have learned the importance of service. It is my hope that as you go into your communities and into the workforce, that you'll give back with acts of service. And that, as you are settled into your career, you'll consider giving your time, talents, and treasures back to Eastern Kentucky. Being a graduate of this institute gives me great pride, and I'm always sharing about the campus beautiful. I hope that you will find the opportunities to share with others about your experience here. Now, spring graduates, would you please stand? By virtue of the degree conferred upon you by the faculty and the Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University, I hereby declare you to be members of the Eastern Kentucky University International Alumni Association with all the rights and privileges of memberships. Congratulations and welcome. You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Now, for one last time, let us recognize with a hearty round of applause Eastern Kentucky University's newest graduates of the College of Health Sciences. We hope that each of you will stay close with your EKU family and visit us frequently. We hope you will come back for additional credentials and that your families will enroll in our degrees and our new workforce certificates, which we will be offering throughout the region. Whatever your aspiration, there is always a place for you at EKU. Graduates, to continue your celebration, at the conclusion of today's ceremony, please meet your families, friends, and faculty at the reception being held in the auxiliary gym directly behind me on the concourse level. You may enter the ends of the corridors on either side. There will be several stations set up with refreshments available. Family and friends, please take this time to meet your graduates, friends, and faculty. I would like to thank our reader, Dr. Michael Lane, our musicians, Dr. Joyce Wolfe, and the EKU Symphony Orchestra for the beautiful music. Thank you to our interpreters, Shirley Rivard and Chelsea Noggle, and to the College of Health Sciences Graduation Ceremony Coordinator, Ms. Reglina Salmons. All faculty, staff, and student marshals of the College of Health Sciences and EKU who worked so hard to support our college event today. Round of applause for all those individuals. Please stand as we jointly sing My Old Kentucky Home and remain standing until the stage platform exits the floor at the conclusion of this ceremony. Thank you.
Call